It was predictable in DeLand that if the school was majority white with a strong PTA and less financially disadvantaged students and being in a low crime district, would mean better scores on state proficiency exams. However, those were imperfect factors. Freedom Elementary School was actually the best performing on those exams, but and and I would say it was in the wealthiest district as it had the least amount of students on free and reduced lunch. However, it still had almost 70%, and it had more minority students and more Spanish speaking students than the second highest performing school. Also, um, when you look at between the two poorest performers, Stark Elementary had more minorities. It was in a higher crime zone. It and it had more financially disadvantaged students than Blue Lake Elementary School, uh, the second lowest performer. But Blue Lake was actually had the worst scores, and I guess the main difference between Blue Lake and Stark was it had more Spanish speakers. So, being in a better crime area, not that much better, that, you know, and having less poor students, um, still made it um, the worst in the all of DeLand. Now, so what stands out as specifically different? Like, what does Freedom Elementary have that none of the other schools have that could make it the best? Well, it was the only school with a black female principal. It was the only school that was not a Title I school. However, it did have a high percentage of students that needed free and reduced lunch. Um, but another thing that stood out was it had majority female students, but it was a slight majority, only 51%. I would say when I look at the social media and activities, um, it seemed to be more fun and more emotionally supportive. It even had things about anti um, suicidal, anti bullying. I mean, things to be supportive about it. And that's an elementary school, and it's talking about kids and 10-year olds committing suicide and things like that. So it, but it also had a lot of fun activities, a lot of ways to show school spirit and and fundraisers. But what made Blue Lake the worst performing elementary school? Well, they're they're the they were the only elementary school in DeLand that had a out of the choices I was studying had a male or white male um, principal. But um, now this year the principal is a white female. So we'll see how next year shows up.